Hello viewers, in today's session we are going to discuss about TDS TCS. Everyone has heard of TDS. Most of us don't know what it is. So let's see what it is today. Total income of an assessee for the previous year is taxable in the relevant assessment year. Here, everyone has heard of income tax and tax payments as well as taxpayers also, but most people don't know how to find that tax to be paid to the government and what is meant by the term TDS and TCS in it. Similarly, most of people don't know how to apply TDS and what percentage should be seriously cut. We are going to discuss more about that. Okay, here says that assessment year. Assessment year means following the first year in which your income is assessed. That is usually 1st April to 31st March every year. For example, the total income of the previous year, PY means previous year, is 2012 and 13, is taxable in the assessment year, AY, assessment year 2013-14. So it's clear that the previous year income is assessed in the assessment year, next year, to the next year. Okay, however, the tax recovered from the assessee in the previous year itself through two methods. They are tax deducted at source and payment of advanced taxes. These are the two methods using to recover tax from the assessee. Okay, so today we are going to discuss about TDS and TCS. Okay, before going to TDS, let us in section is said in section 191. Okay, section 191 says about that the direct payment, which means in some cases that the assessee has to pay tax directly. That is, the particular cases are given below. The first case is in case of an income in respect of which tax is not required to be deducted at source, and income in respect of which tax is liable to be deducted at source but is not actually deducted. Okay, these are the two points or two cases where the assessee directly pay the tax. Okay, come back to the point, deduction of tax at source. TDS means tax deducted at source. It should be mentioned in section 190 of the Income Tax Act 1961. Okay, here says that it is an obligatory certain person to deduct tax from the certain payments at a prescribed rates and paid to the central government. The tax is so deducted is called deduction of tax at source. Here, which means that in TDS system, person responsible for making payment for a specified services such as commission, brokerages, professionals, etc. are required to deduct a fixed percentage from the amount. Such amount have to be deposited to government by the deducted. For example, ABC Limited have make a payment of rupees 1 lakh to Mr. XYZ for professional fee. The TDS rate is specified as 10%. So here the gross amount is 1 lakh and the TDS of 10% of 1 lakh is 10,000. So the net amount is 90,000. So the assessee will get only that net amount. The balance should be 10,000 amount should be transferred to the government as TDS. Okay, here is noted in below. Assessee in default. Assessee in default means if the assessee has to make any default in the compliance of these obligations, he is also liable for penalties and prosecutions also. Okay, clear? Then move. Okay, first we just know about what is TDS and where the TDS are applied. In which cases the TDS are applied or in which payments the TDS are applied. Then come to that points. There are 16 points given here. These are the examples of the TDS how will applied. Okay, then come first point, salary. About salary mentioned in section 192 of the Income Tax Act. Here says that the employer should be deduct tax or TDS at the time of paying salary to his employees. Okay, it should be payable at the rate applicable in the financial year. Okay, and also there is a hint that is the deduction only applicable when the amount exceeds the basic exemption limit, which means the employee's estimated income from the salaries after allowing permissible deduction exceeds the basic exemption limit only. The exemption limit chart is here given. Okay, here says that up to 2.5 lakh, there is TDS is fully exempted from that person. Up to 2.5 lakh to 5 lakh, then TDS rate is 5%. Between 5 lakh to 10 lakh, TDS percentage is 20%. Above 10 lakh, it's 30% itself. Okay, come to the next point is interest on securities. Here which says that according to section 193, any income received as an interest on securities, it should be deduct tax at 7.5% if the amount exceeds rupees 5,000. Okay, here clear. Before that, from 14/5/2020, the rates of TDS are changed. So, here I mentioned the old rate and new rate also, and also I said about only new rate. So you should read these all rate details also. Okay, here says that if the amount exceeds, it's applicable 7.5% from 14/5/2020. Next point, dividend. Okay, in dividend, it should be mentioned in the section 194. Here are two sections. Okay, if the shareholders dividend declared under section 1034, it's fully exempt from TDS because that dividend or such dividend had distribution tax in the hands of the company. So already they have a distribution tax should be paid to the government such as dividend declared under section 1034. So it's fully exempt from the tax. And the next case is if the dividend referred in section 222E, it will attract a 7.5% of TDS if the amount of dividend exceeds rupees 5,000. The principal officer is the responsible person to deduct the tax from dividend. Okay, next point, interest other than interest on securities. Section 194A says that where interest other than interest on securities. Okay, before then second point we have already discussed about interest on securities. Okay, now we are going to interest other than interest on securities, which includes the time deposits with the bank or post office savings deposits or senior citizen savings schemes like etc. In these cases, if the limit of the amount exceeds rupees 40,000, then they are liable for 7.5% as TDS. Then next, winning from lotteries, crossword puzzles and horse races, etc. Okay, here says that if everyone has taken lotteries or crossword puzzle games or horse races, etc. Also, these also be a casual or non-recurring income in nature. So, it should be taxable at a flat rate of 30% if the amount exceeds rupees 10,000. Okay, if according to the old rule, for income received from horse race, the exemption limit is 5,000. But now it is also be 10,000. It should be mentioned in these two sections, section 194B and 194BB. Okay, here it is clear that the TDS percentage is 30%. Okay, then next point, payments to contractors and subcontractors. Here which says that if any income or payment should be made to contractors for carrying out any work like building constructions, etc. There are two cases. First one is single transaction and the second one is consolidated payment. If he make a single transaction to the contractor, if the sum exceeds rupees 30,000, the rate of deduction for individuals or HCF is 0.75% and for others is 1.5%. Okay, in case of consolidated payment during the financial year, if the sum exceeds rupees 1 lakh, the rate of deduction for individual is 0.75 and others is 1.5. So, consolidated payment if the amount exceeds rupees 1 lakh. In single transaction, the amount exceeds rupees 30,000. Okay, come to the next point, insurance commission. Everyone has taken insurance like life insurance policy or accidental insurance policy and fire insurance policy, theft insurance policy, etc. Okay, here there is a commission paying to the insurance, it should be taxable. Okay, here insurance commission other than the company exceeds rupees 15,000, it should be taxable 3.75%. But in the case of maturity of a life insurance policy, exceeds rupees 1 lakh, the percentage is same as above, but the exemption limit is different. Okay, clear? For here is 15,000, here is 1 lakh. Okay, then come to the next point, payment to non-resident sportsman or sports association. Here we are making any payment to a non-resident sportsman. It should be deducted of a tax of 20% plus education cess of 2% is made for making such payment. Okay, clear? Then next point, payments in respect of deposits under national savings schemes. It should be mentioned in section 194 EE. If any person is responsible for paying any amount from NSS, shall deduct income tax of 7.5% if the amount exceeds rupees 2,500. Okay, come to the next point, repurchase of units of mutual fund. It should be mentioned, section 194 says that if any person is responsible for paying any amount on account of repurchase of units, covers under 80cc will be, section 80cc will be required to deduct a tax of 15% from 14/5/2020. Okay, old rate is 20%, now it is 15% and it should be deducted at the time of payment of such amount. Okay, then next one, commission on sale of lottery tickets. Okay, here according to section 194G, any person responsible for making payment to any commission or a price on a lottery tickets, it will be deducted a tax of 3.75% if the amount exceeds rupees 15,000. Okay, then come to the next point, commission or brokerage. Okay, or commission or brokerage, commission paid for selling a property or buying a property, or brokerage is paid to a broker for purchasing a property or a home or a new home or like that. According to section 194H says that if the amount of commission or brokerage exceeds rupees 15,000, he is liable for 3.75% as TDS. Okay, then come to the next point, rent. In the case of rent, according to section 194I says that the rent of plant and machinery or equipment should be exceeds rupees 2,40,000. He is liable for 1.5% as TDS. But in the case of land and building and furniture and fixture, the exemption limit is same, but the TDS rate is 7.5%. According to section 194IA, transfer of certain immovable property other than agricultural land, if the amount exceeds rupees 50 lakh, he is liable for a TDS of 0.75%. And according to section 194IB, the rent by individual or Hindu undivided family, if the amount exceeds 50,000 per month, it should be taxable at 3.75%. Okay, then next and last point, section 194IC, payment under joint development agreements to individuals or Hindu HUF. So there is no exemption limit. The full amount, from that full amount, 7.5% should be deductible as TDS. Okay, the next point, fees for professional or technical services. Okay, here it says that professional fees like doctor's fee, lecturer's fee and advocate's fee, etc. Are considered here, and technical services include the computer maintenance services or technically revised services. Okay, here it says that according to the section 194J, the professional fee exceeds rupees 30,000, it should be deducted tax of 7.5%. And in the case of director's fee, for that particular amount, the 7.5% should be deducted as TDS. According to this same section, with the effect from 1/4/2020, the technical fees exceeds rupees 30,000, it should be deducted TDS of 1.5%. And in the case of same to the call center operator also, with the effect from 1/6/2017, 30,000 exceeds if it is TDS applicable on 1.5% also. Then the next one is payment for compensation on acquisition of certain immovable property, according to section 194LA, which says that in the nature of compensation on account of compulsory acquisition of any immovable property other than agricultural land. So the agricultural land is not included in this section, shall deduct income tax of 7.5% if the amount exceeds rupees 2,50,000. Okay, it's clear. If the amount exceeds rupees 2,50,000, so 7.5% is taxable. Okay, here next point. The sum paid to non-resident, Section 195 says about that any person who is responsible for paying any interest or other sum chargeable to tax other than salaries. Okay, here mentioned that not included salaries. Actually, salaries details are already mentioned in the first point. So, salaries are not included. It should be making to a non-resident or a foreign company is liable to deduct tax at source, the rate prescribed in the Financial Act. Okay. Then move to next. Okay, here we are discussing about how TDS applied on, or for where TDS applied on, it's over. Okay, then move to TDS certificate. Okay, here says that tax deduction certificate. Okay, which includes the amount should be deducted and the rate of the deduction and such other particulars are described in this TDS certificate. It should be very important to file the return. In the case of salary, Form 16 should be filed, but in the case of for other income, it should be filed Form 16A as TDS certificate. Okay, it's clear. Then move. Also we know about every rates of TDS, but if the assessee does not have a PAN or non-furnishing of PAN or other by deductee, the TDS will be charged at normal rate or 20%, whichever is higher. Okay, for example, the salaries TDS rate is 10%, so but he doesn't have a PAN card, so it should be charged 20%. That's all. Okay, in case under section 194 or only 5% should be charged if there is no PAN card. Okay, then move to TAN number and TCS number. Okay, TAN number, everyone should hear about TAN, I think. TAN means tax deduction account number. Okay, it's a unique 10-digit number allotted by the income tax department to all persons who are required to deduct tax at source on a payment of income to any person. Okay, it's allotted by the income tax department. Okay, it's compulsory to quote on all TDS return. Without this, cannot file TDS return. Okay, and also TCS. TCS means tax reduction and collection account number. Okay, then let's move to the next topic is tax collection at source. Okay, then we can understand what is tax collection account number. Okay, then move to tax collection at source. Okay, tax collection at source means if every seller means if government is the seller in here. Okay, government making or receiving payments from the public like parking lot or toll plaza or mine or quarry to another person, like that. Okay, here every seller or a person who grants lease or license in respect of parking lot or plaza, toll plaza or mine quarry to another person shall collect a tax at source from the buyer itself. Here the seller includes government, local authority, public corporations, etc. And or company or cooperative society, etc. It should be audited under section 44 for individuals or HUF, and also the tax collected by the seller or by the government either at the time of debiting the account of the buyer or on receiving the amount from the buyer. Okay, the taxes so collected shall be deposited to the credit of central government. Okay, by that same time TDS should be deposited to the government, and like that here is also that TCS also should be credited to the central government. If in case of non-furnishing of PAN, the TCS will be charged twice of the normal rate applicable of 5%. Here means that if the TCS rate is 2%, so he doesn't have a PAN card, so he is liable for 4% or 5%, whichever is higher. So here he will charge 5%. Okay, but in the case of a sale of any goods valuing exceeds rupees 50 lakh, it should be taxable at TCS of 1%. Okay, clear. Then this is the new rates of TCS chart. Okay, TCS rate chart is here given below. Scrap, all this one now is 0.75, and also here said that okay, parking lot or toll plaza, mining quarry, other than mining a quarry or mineral oil, petroleum and gases, etc., it should be mentioned. Old rate is 2%, now is 1.5%, and other items rates are mentioned here. Okay, just read out this all. And okay, from this session, I think moreover everyone know about the TDS and TCS. Okay, then conclude this session. Okay, thank you so much.